Welcome back once again. Week 4 will now continue. North America is going to be our focal point today. Sunday is the day. And we've got some, well, to be fair, we've got the top 4 teams potentially of the North American SPL.
This is a really good day for Smite Esports.
Yep.
We're going to start it off seeing Enemy take on Envy, and you can see just at the top right now, 7-1 is Enemy. Surprisingly, LG following them at 6-2. Envy is coming in at 6-4.
However, we've got Thor, who people have touted as one of the best teams in the region, potentially.
Yes.
However, I mean, I did too, but at the moment, the 7th, 3-3, only off the bottom because of Randozo still sitting.
Haven't played too many games yet, and I believe 2 of those matches were one against LG and one against Envy, so they've kind of been battling it out with the top of North America so far. I'll be interested to see kind of where they go as the day continues.
But that's later on. Because now we've got, first of all, Envy versus Enemy. Enemy 7-1, still on that hot streak, honestly. Since coming back from Worlds, they've changed roster, obviously, brought in Marauder, Varizial into the roster too, but still finding these wins against tough opposition.
And that's the thing too with Enemy, is it just seems they always just find a way to win, right? It's never clean. It's never just like they destroy you, right? Where a lot of the top North American teams, or throughout the history in the SPL, you see that if a team is number 1, they find wins very dominating, right? You look at Panthera specifically, the most dominating lineup we've ever seen, just shut down teams in 20 minutes. That's not the case for Enemy. They just scrape it out, and just it's the shot calling that comes late game that PainDeViande brings to this squad. And honestly, the new rookies Varizial and Marauder have stepped up. They've showed up. They
really have, and that came from the challenger, but the relegation battle more than anything else. We really saw them start to shine. Picks and bans are ready though, and obviously Envy, well, they've got a lot to prove here as well, do Envy, because take away the Randozo's victory, they've faced LG and Allegiant in their past 2 sets, other than Randozo's, and they've actually only 1-3. 1 win, 3 losses in that matchup. Envy have got a point to prove here, and against Enemy, who were 7-1, if they can find 2 wins here, Envy should be in a better position than they once were. Well, obviously, but you know. Just
so the past 6 times we've seen Envy, they've actually first banned ISIS, and now Enemy is going to, in a sense, take away one of their bans, and they're going to ban away the ISIS.
Yeah, ISIS banned 7 times, and that's pretty much because Stealth doesn't play ISIS.
No.
We've known that before. We've seen
forever,
it when he
for
used
the
to
history.
play on the Cloud9. Like,
he doesn't want to play it, and he doesn't want to play against it. He's like, no, none of it.
Well, Kepri off the table by Envy, as well as Athena by Enemy, and Scylla is the final ban, and I guess that's just worried about the Nijar Scylla combo, maybe, and also Scylla's buff recently.
Probably Scylla's buff. I mean, we saw how powerful it was on the best, but I mean, this is still Enemy. They're going to first pick Zeus. This is no surprise here. I imagine they're going to go into a pretty defensive support and jungler next. I'm thinking of Thor, Geb, if those are left open for them.
The Zeus is very, very contested between these 2 teams as well. Both of them picked it 3 times so far this season. Not a surprise. Envy will lock in Sol for themselves this game, and I'm pretty sure we've seen a couple of times played by CycloneSpin. I think he'll go back to it again.
I like the Thor pickup. This is more taking away the best protective jungler that Zeus has. Also, it opens up the opportunity for Zeus to be ganked. One of the biggest weaknesses about Zeus is the fact that he has to play scared. You'll see Zeus's, even if their team is ahead, actually be significantly behind the other mid laner in farm, and Thor guarantees that he's not going to be able to press up anywhere.
A Bellona locked in as well for Enemy. Already been picked up 6 times this season for Marauder. This will be the 7th time it's been played. Support's going to be an interesting one for Enemy here as well, because with Athena off the table, Odin's been the other go-to for PainDeViande so far this season.
Kumba right now is, I think, one of the best picks Envy can look at.
Really?
You can not only lock down the Zeus, but you can lock down Bellona as well, cancel out her bludgeon, keep her distracted, but instead they're going to go the Guan Yu. More than likely Soul Lane.
On the side of Enemy, I mean, Kumba could be a good pick, good against Sol, as DM Brandon believes. At least I understand his thought process behind it, but also very good against Guan Yu as well. Not to shut down that Teller Assault. That Guan Yu, like we said though, flex, could be solo, could be support right now.
Bans coming through here. We'll see what Envy want to take away. I imagine they're going to be targeting out the supports here.
I'd be looking at PainDeViande for sure. I mean, he's only really played Odin, Athena, Geb, and Guan this season. So Guan taken, Athena banned. Oh, we've actually got the wrong sides on teams here.
Oh, no. Oh,
never mind. Okay, let's just go for it again and just work it out, because a little bit of a miscommunication there. So Envy, our first pick, Enemy, second pick. Guan Yu could be in the support role then, because it's been played already this season. So they've been taking the picks away from each other, which is the big talking point now, because Bellona, like I said...
I could have believed that both of these were each other's team comps.
Definitely.
I could have.
I mean, Marauder has already played Bellona 6 times, so Envy taking that away before the countdown phase, giving it to Omega, who himself has played it quite a few times. Sorry, is it Omega who's played it that many times? Even I'm wrong.
Yeah.
My stat line. Omega's played it 7 times now.
He's played it
gone
virtually
to-
every game but one, I believe it was.
And Marauder, well, he'll go for Tyr, Amaterasu, or Bellona, are 3 of his top gods at the moment.
So, enemy, they're going to ban away the Geb. Don't want to give Envy the safety net for a Zeus. And EnVyUs here, more than likely going to be targeting mid laners, I would imagine. And yeah, they're going to take out Giannis. I like that.
Yeah, Giannis taken away back to enemy again. Probably looking at another support to try and shut down Kiki a little bit. Kiki has gone to the Sobek, so I expect to see him maybe go back that way once again if it is left available. Or will enemy spot that? They will, you know, and they'll ban it away.
Last ban coming through here. Envy.
I'd like an Odin ban here. Yeah. See, I've not even seen these. The reason I want Odin away, enemy, obviously they've picked it up 4 times already for PainDeViande this season in the support role. And against a Zeus and against a Bellona, it's very difficult for them to escape that ring. And with a Guan Yu setting them up, it's perfect.
Enemy, you're going to go into tier, so Marauder getting a comfort pick. Also a pretty good matchup against Bellona. As long as you can survive until level 3 when you get your stance switch, there is always a little bit worrying phase where you could get poked out and get killed early. And there's the Kumbha coming up for EnVyUs. I really like this pick, actually. I really like Kumbha. I think we're going to see more Kumbha, especially when teams start to draft, you know, the Zeuses and some other immobile mages that need something to get away.
And Kumbha has a pretty good matchup against most of those gods enemy have picked up already, but they're probably looking for either a Hunter here or for a mid laner. With that Soul locked in, is a kind of a flex pick here. What's the last call going to be? Will we be seeing Soul played by Vicium?
Vicium? He's gone now. He's on denial.
I'm
PandaCat.
so far away.
These teams, no, roster apocalypse.
I actually would say that Soul is definitely mid lane instead, because I don't think I see PandaCat on that. I expect to see him on the
He had a really good on her.
Whoa, an Artemis. Here we go.
Okay. So throwing dagger buff. So people are already kind of annoyed about, you know, the RNG, the 10% crit chance on throwing dagger. Now they're going to have to run into Artemis, who has 15% crit in her kit. Oh, man.
Into the game we go. Envy will be the order side enemy, the Chaos side at the beginning of the game. Both teams grouping up towards the mid lane here, just showing presence, and already a couple of wards placed down on the left-hand harpies just to give a vision of them. No wards at the right, though, which we've been seeing a lot of lately.
Oh, yes. Both teams kind of want to get vision of the mid camps early, but I'm looking at the relics right now. I think Envy want to kill this Artemis in lane, like before she hits 5. Kumbha's gone into Curse, and so Curse is actually an amazing relic, but its biggest weakness is that it's completely negated by sprint. If the other team doesn't go into sprint early, though, you have so many opportunities to set up for potential kills, and especially against Artemis, who has nothing to get away. She has a little bit of a movement speed buff, but she can't jump away, and when she's locked down by Kumbha, she's done.
Also with that as well, the meditation picked up by PainDeViande there is beneficial, but if the curse is activated, it's not going to give the healing effect you were really looking for from it to rebuff your team. You're going to have to play this very, very safely in the laning phase here, enemy. Push power, however, should be in their favor with the Artemis and the extra crit chance, as well as the Guan Yu with a Tallow Assault here. We'll see how this lane plays out.
Also managing to get to lane early.
Get those crits going.
And so not really going to be able to pressure this. This is probably going to be like a level 4 kill, I would imagine.
Combat
if
very slow
happens.
to get going in the lane, honestly. He wants to get his throw back up to about rank 3, rank 4, and he can pretty much full clear the wave then. CycloneSpin, he's using the Hou Yi, which his wave clear is lackluster, but throwing dagger really helps that out early.
Yeah, most teams are fine right now with the clear, right? Even Neiths are throwing dagger, although I don't really like that. Mid lane, though, it looks like left side Harpies were handled by enemy, actually, but Khaos still getting pressured out under his tower. They need to be careful not to stack up.
In the mid lane, just making sure he stayed far enough away with the chain lightning to not allow it to bounce to Varizial there. But a good invade coming out here as well from Masked in the jungle. Just going to steal away these boars, and this is Omega's pressure that he's got over a Marauder early. And
Marauder's level 3, though, so he should be fine. You can see he's got 3 health potions. Actually, no, he's burned through a lot of potions early, and Omega's still sitting, I think, fully invested. Hasn't used anything yet. That's a little bit worrying for Marauder.
Realistic of how the lane phase goes for a tier early game, though, he needs to hit level 3 before he has his stance change, which allows him to heal up off this minion wave and sustain. More than likely will be maxing his power cleave just for their wave clear,
and the
save
heal.
Damage and the heal.
It's the heal. Power cleave. There's no reason to ever level anything other than power cleave.
Well, before the buff to the power cleave, where you got an extra heal on this now, what you used to do is, like, if you go for a kill lane, you'd look for the Fearless for the full combo of extra damage early, but the power cleave, definitely better for the farming situation. Jungle tiers will look for the Fearless a little bit more. Or used to.
Invade's coming out from Envy. The damage a little bit too high for Enemy to deal with right now. Oh, this is going to be fun. Enemy and Envy.
I know. I realized that when we got in the cast, and then with the picks and bans being the wrong way around, we're like, oh gosh, this is getting more confusing. Invade on the left-hand side, they're in response by Enemy here. They will steal away the duo lane boars, and you even saw that Varizial rotated all the way over on that Thor as well to soak some experience and guarantee there was no engage there.
So we're not going to see Envy hit level 5 early here, which means probably not going to have an early kill potential in lane, but that curse is something that duo lane's always going to need to be worried about here. Marauder, though, surviving for now. No multi-potions left, has a couple health, and he's been the one I think I've been most impressed by on this squad for Enemy, right? Coming into the season, Varizial has, been known in the ranked scene for a long time, right? Not having a lot of success on any Challenger Cup teams, but people expected him to be okay. Marauder was getting handled during relegations, right? He matched up against Baskin, and he just was useless.
He struggled in the relegations then. He was up against Baskin, but experience showed there more than anything else. And Marauder, credit to him though, he still hung around. He didn't get, down in his head about his play. He was like, okay, fine, maybe I've still got an opportunity. He kept his chin up, and now look at him on the #1 team in in the NA right now.
And he's matching up, right? Early on, obviously, still struggling in the laning phase against someone like Omega. Gonna have his blue buff stolen as well, and I like what Envy's doing. They're putting a lot of pressure over onto Marauder. Not only did Mass steal his first boar, but then stole the blue on cooldown, and Marauder, he's handing it to Omega right now.
You take my blue, I will beat you down a little bit. But Omega doesn't seem too worried here. Got some health potions left. However, very low on mana here. Possible kill with the Lawbringer. Does get hit by it. Power cleave hits
Soloed.
as well. Needs a fearless. One hit. He's going under the tower and misses the power cleave. The jukes are good for Omega. The disarm.
Just gets soloed.
Justice.
Marauder.
Justice.
Marauder. That was a feel yourself. Marauder's like, I'm going to show it to Omega. Omega actually makes the mistake there by using the Scourge, and he just didn't have enough mana to ult away. That's what he was banking on. Marauder recognized that and then goes for the kill, but Omega just puts his juke shoes on, and I don't even think Omega had full boots there, and Marauder had full boots.
No, he didn't have full boots at all. It was, I don't think he had. Oh, yeah, he did go back to base.
Yeah, Marauder had just bought Warrior Tabby, so even with the bonus movement speed, can't catch up to Omega.
So what ended up happening there is that was just Omega knowing the matchup very well, knowing when Thor was going to go for a power cleave, and juked the power cleave. The power cleave hit in the defensive stance, he would have got the kill, healed as well, but he missed it completely, and that just allowed Omega to turn that around. 1-0 on the side of Envy in a solo lane battle that, well, that one could come back to haunt them because you don't want to give Omega a lead.
I love Season 3.
We see more 1v1.
We see a lot more 1v1s. Teams are willing to, or players specifically are willing to take these fights if they feel like they can win. And, last season, whether it was Marauder or anyone else, no one would even worry about poking out Omega. They're like, all right, Omega's just going to get away. There's no point even trying this. But Marauder goes for a kill, and honestly, that was a kill he should have locked down.
It should have been, but it was a good play coming out from Omega as there's an ult in mid lane. Response from Envy here, looking for another kill, potentially looking for the pickup. Not going to find it, though. Still alive at the moment as Pain goes in and gets a good stun off onto twos and slow them down, then meditates to heal himself back up. Varizial escapes the danger.
Barely survives there. I like the combination, though, from Envy coming out, but I think they stacked their damage wrong. I think a lot of them tried to burn everything at the same time. You saw Stealth ult, but that was while Varizial was in the air, and so he didn't get the full ticks off after Varizial comes landing down.
Well, the bad news is, because First Blood went the way of Omega there, Marauder, who was behind anyway in this lane.
Oh, he's done now.
He's now, look at the gold difference. You can see there's almost a breastplate of Valor worked on a little bit more. Can we just take gold in hand right now? I want to see how close he is. He's 1350 Omega here to complete that breastplate of Valor.
Not there yet.
And then, well, he's on his way. He's only 500 short, roughly, right
and I like what Omega's doing, right? So first off, he bullies Marauder out. They steal his blue buff. They steal his boar, and then he gets the solo kill. Now that's a 500 gold First Blood solo kill. That's why it was so critical. And you've just seen him now just bully Marauder out. Steals his boar again. Going to take these fire elementals. And honestly, he could look at stealing the blue. He does have to be a little bit worried. If I'm Enemy, if I'm Varizial, I'm looking to secure this blue on cooldown because you can't let Marauder keep getting far behind.
Connects on Varizial in mid lane, has to Purification and Wall to stop the groggy strike of Kiki, otherwise would have been in danger from the damage coming out from Stealth there, but he will survive once again. And they're going to return to the red buff, but I don't think Envy want to give this up for free.
They're going to get slowed, though. Kiki takes the Stellar Burst to the face. Red buff already completed, and I like what Enemy did there. They pulled it away from EnVy. They knew they were rotating in.
Early ball comes out from PandaCat to reduce the amount of damage coming out. The Zeus ult was on point, but not enough to find the killer's detonator is crushed. Stealth's in trouble now as the Supernova. The final tick connects from Khaos, and the turnaround may be on.
They're not done yet. It's going to be PainDeViande. Teleport coming in from Marauder. And Omega just going to walk back to his lane, so he's not too worried just yet. But beautiful, honestly, set up by enemy. PainDeViande targets out MLC Stealth, who was pushed very far forward by himself. That was a little bit of a positioning error from him. Gets hit by all 4 ticks of PainDeViande's cavalry charge, and then Khaos just lines it up perfectly.
His positioning was good. I think what happened was PandaCat's ult was perfect to stop the rest of the team collapsing, going aggressive with him, so then he ends up being out of position just because of the ball coming down there. And PandaCat survives, Stealth does not. However, Pain trades his life for that.
And Omega continuing to bully Marauder, has a 2-level lead now.
Didn't actually go for the breastplate of valor there, which I expected. It's actually going to be had in the medium line. We've seen a lot more of that out of Omega this season, especially with the rise of Hunters as well and the throwing dagger being online. We've seen a little bit more physical, and he's decided to go that option.
A little bit of reflect. Also has health, I think is the most important thing for Omega. He just wants a higher...
Does it have health?
I believe so, yeah, 200.
Can we just check it? I'm thinking it changed this season. I want to say had in medium line is different. It doesn't have health.
Oh, it's mana.
There you
I don't
go.
know why I was thinking it was health.
That's why I thought Breastplate of Valor would have been the choice, but gone for the Reflect. He's doing that a lot more. He's got a lot of physical protection
90.
now. 90 is a huge
I think
amount.
that is the highest just flat protection amount in the game
Spectral
right
the same?
now.
I think Spectral's the same. Or 80.
Yeah, 90 is definitely the highest. There's nothing higher than that. Left-hand side, though, Artemis pushed back, and this is the thing, though, about Artemis. It's kind of like Zeus, where you always have to be scared if you're pushed up, right? You have the potential to turn around fights and just kill people, but in this early phase, Artemis doesn't have her damage yet.
When you look at the two AD guys, hang on, hold that fort in the sky. There is 2 ultimates being used for this to try and pick up the kill onto PainDeViande, but the meditate was good. The detonate was better coming out from Stealth as Varizial dunks in, looking for a pick on Cyclone. Lawbringer over the top, not required. A Stellar Burst does connect coming out from Khaos. The fight continuing though as an epic uppercut is used.
Oh, the wall, though, going to keep EnVy at bay, at least for now. Omega surging forward. Eagles rally onto 2, looking for Marauder, but he will get slowed by the Stellar Burst just in time, and Marauder should escape. And honestly, these Stellar Bursts are more about the slow than the damage so far this game.
Yeah, for sure. And the big key there, Marauder should have died to the bludgeon.
Yes.
Other than the fact that he realized to turn around and power cleave, get the heal off, keep himself alive enough. Omega only getting 1 kill there. So 3-2 is now the scoreline. And Khaos in the mid lane on this Soul, which I don't think we've really seen much of this season at all.
Soul in the mid lane.
I've seen it once before.
We haven't really seen Soul in the mid lane. We've seen her mostly over in that dual lane carry role. But
it's the story of, like, is she a hunter in disguise like a Freya, or is she, do you play her like a mage? There's been 2 different talking points and like versions of how to play this.
I think she's more of a true mix, right? Freya's definitely, you play her like a hunter. It's all about enhancing her auto attacks. But Khaos and on this Soul, you have abilities that do a lot of damage. Stellar Burst, and then Supernova as well, right? Especially late game Soul, you'll see the first tick of Supernova hit someone for over 60% of their life if you have, upwards of 600 magical power.
Well, with no Gold Fury down yet, let's just go to the graphs and see if there's a big experience difference. And it's about just under 2,000 in favor of EnVy. Some of that is definitely down to Omega and the lead he's got over Marauder there. But no real other ones developing so far in this game. Actually, no, the Junglers. A little bit of a difference there. Masked doing a much better job of farming. Got an extra 500 gold up on Varizial. That does come down to a kill, though, as well.
I think CycloneSpin might be a little mad that PandaCat picked Artemis. Because CycloneSpin is, you know how we talked about 1v1s, right? And how we're seeing more. CycloneSpin is the guy who just wants to jump on you. We saw a lot of, that's the thing. I think CycloneSpin has the most kills in the SPL right now. And a lot of it comes down to the fact that he's always trying to fight. And he trusts his team to rotate for him.
The funny thing is PandaCat is a very, very aggressive hunter as well. He likes to fight too. And to see him play something where he's going to be a little bit more passive in the laning phase unless an opportunity presents itself, I respect that, because it's the fact that you're going to throw your opponent off because they're going to expect you to be aggressive, and instead you play a defensive route and then just sit back, wait for a late game, and then go off potentially with this Artemis.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to watch about PandaCat the last time I casted his game was his positioning on her. It was absurdly good. Positioning on hunters is one of the most important skills next to actually hitting your auto attacks. It's hit your auto attacks and positioning, and then hitting your abilities comes after.
Ricochet, got a miss from Cyclone there, so he's going to go back to farming once again as Panda clears the wave out once more. Support swinging round there. You can see Kiki on this Kumbhakarna. Now, support builds this season has been a big talking point because it used to just be straight into Urchin, and now we see Sovereignty, we see Urchin, Bastion. We see lots of different opportunities, like Wing Blade as well. I think it's one of the most versatile roles right now as support in terms of build options, because it's not as linear.
Even the boots. We've seen the rise of Travelers, and I talked to Aurora about this. It's not even about the extra gold that you can get from hitting players. It's really just the movement speed when you're out of combat and the ability to rotate lane to lane, not only allowing you to catch farm from from you know, finding yourselves on multiple lanes, but also the fact that when a fight breaks out, you're just going to be there faster than the other support unless they've also gone into the Traveler shoes.
It does have quite a high amount of HP 5 regen as well, which can really pay off sometimes, especially when you're investing so heavily into wards. You can't get those health.
Kind of like in the middle of Season 2, when we saw a lot of supports build into Stone of Gaia. It was just, you had that health base and there's just a ton of sustain, and if you couldn't get 100 to 0'd and fights would break out, you didn't have to back anymore because you could just stay in the jungle or stay in lanes and heal up passively.
Staying in lane there, Kiki showed himself there. He was just soaking experience, but PandaCat, well aware of his position, just got caught by the minions there. There is no ward down there, I want to say, or maybe there is. There's actually 2 wards in that little alcove, and we're seeing that a lot more over in the dual lane, where the ward coverage is. It's actually in that splitty gap as Marauder dueling with Omega over in the right. 2 levels down still is Marauder.
Might actually be able to catch Omega's back there.
Nope.
It just gets there in time.
And Frostbound Hammer now completed as well for Omega. That's a power spike for him, not in terms of actual raw damage, but in terms of chase and kill potential now. Keep people locked down, also an attack speed reduction as well. Keep an eye out for Envy to potentially look for a fight at the Gold Fury. They have a team that's very good at securing it.
And Envy also making sure to control that upper left-hand side. The ward coverage. One of the most important spots right now in Smite. You see a lot of fights break out in kind of that left side Harpies, because not only is it so close to the gold, to the Gold Fury, but also because everyone is rotating in between there, and that's what we've seen. That's one of the reasons we've seen Naja rise to prominence, is that he's so good at surprise, like just catching players off guard when they come in, and it's also like, just look at the walls. It's just hard to see around that corner until you're basically in range to get Naja ulted.
Thor is in the sky, but I'm pretty sure Kiki saw that. I did on my screen from his angle, so I guess they were well aware of it. And Kiki, you saw him hover. He didn't want to show which direction he was going to go and tried to force Varizial to come down on that spot. In the end, he just plays safe. So Thor is down for a little while now, and see if Envy will look to abuse that.
This has been a little bit of passive play coming up from both teams. Envy, I think, taking a couple more opportunities to try and steal away that red buff or catch someone when they're rotating into the jungle. But for the most part, they haven't been overextending themselves, so they seem confident in their late game. And to be fair, they do have a Hou Yi and a Zeus. Obviously, the Naja is going to fall off and become more of kind of a setup god, right? Probably focusing on trying to take PandaCat out of the fight. But
I agree. And I think this is such a big game for both these teams too, so I can understand them sitting back a little bit and waiting. They've both got pretty good late game compositions here too, so no real advantage one way or the other in terms of that. Hou Yi and Artemis, 2 mega hyper carries in the later stage of the game for different varying reasons. 2 very good frontline gods in Bellona and Tyr as well. And then junglers that bring 2 different things to the table on top of that.
And I just look at stealth, right? Level 13. This is one of the hardest things about Zeus, is that it's so hard to get farm, right? Go to the graphs real quick. It's, I believe, 1,200 difference, which isn't a lot, right? It's a couple kills. But then looking back at it, he's got a 300 gold deficit to Khaos. And that's simply because you have to play so scared as Zeus. You can't push up at all. You look at him. He's gone into the Dynasty Plate Helm and now the Breastplate of Valor as well.
This is a forced Gold Fury fight here. Bellona rotated all the way over. Omega already came to mid. Marauder on his way. And the burst damage, as I said, they've got great secure. Envy get the Gold Fury, but can they get punished for it? Beads immediately used by Cyclone to stop Marauder, but Marauder still got him with the Lawbringer, and then he jumps away. Stealth is quite happy to be on that front line at the moment, as he is very, very tanky. PandaCat comes in, gets some great damage off onto Stealth, looking for the crits if he can find him. Not going to find it now. PandaCat gets stashed, has to purify away everybody. Still alive. Gold Fury to Envy.
Oh, that was such a good disengage from Envy, constantly backing off, peeling for their team and enemy. They tried to catch them, but they couldn't. Instead, it's going to be the meta play now where we see this tier 1 and mid grouped up on. But that was a blink from Artemis as well. I don't know if you noticed this, and I love this from PandaCat. He can now get into fights masked
on his own.
That's not enough damage.
Varizial, only to half health, but the whole team of enemy are going to collapse on him now and masked. Caught out of position, but by doing that, he may set up a chance for Envy to go aggressive.
He saved the tower, and now PainDeViande getting turned on. One more hit, has nowhere to go. It's going to be Omega to find that. CycloneSpin dashes forward, finds the ricochet, and it's going to be Omega finding a double.
Really good pickup from Omega. Can we get some pressure out of Envy now on this mid lane tower? Enemy unable to find it. And in fairness, when we saw Mass do that,
I didn't know why he was doing it.
I thought he was lit at first. I was like, what is he doing? But that was a really sacrificial kill.
Yes.
He sacrificed himself for the team to get an advantage, and sometimes that goes overlooked. That was a great play.
That was beautiful. A lot of times people will do that, but their team's nowhere close. Was that that was a stolen red?
Yeah.
Nice CycloneSpin. Not going to go pick it up, though. A little bit worried. Not sure where Khaos is.
Oh,
no, he got it. I thought it was stolen.
I trusted in you, and you were wrong.
I know. I love that play for Mass, right? Not something you don't see those plays too often, and
it looks like a rank play.
A lot. Yeah, it
looks like a
what
rank
are you
play.
doing?
What are you doing? 4v1?
Mass, you know you don't have enough damage right now to try and find that kill.
Building breastplate, he's not going to have the damage to pick up Varizial, who's also working on that one too. But that play just made enemies stay to focus. And
they all
support
wanted
Varizial.
to kill him.
They wanted to kill him when he landed, and they did, but got punished heavily for it.
They lost 2, don't get the tower, and they lose their tier 1. Left-hand side, though, it's CycloneSpin. 0-1-4. This guy, most kills in the SPL for, at least for now, for I think the second year in a row. I think he held that in both the summer and fall split last year.
I think some of that comes down to that Carly game more than anything this year as well. That Carly where he got the pentakill. That just boosted his stat line so much more in that game up against Eager as well. Obviously, Eager, not in competition today, will be in competition on Monday. So and Luminosity are up after this one. But man, my oh my, this is going to be a long day.
Who's going to DreamHack? I still don't know.
Realistically, in North America right now, I could not tell you who the number 3 top 3 teams are.
LG is the only one that I'm confident will make it to LAN. I just don't see them dropping below. But, you know, EnVyUs has been struggling a little bit recently, although they look in good form right now.
Enemy, Saw, all up there, Eager with a fantastic showing. Even, to be fair, Allegiance is starting to hang on those coattails now. Yeah.
I still think they're going to be near the bottom, but the thing is, their team is looking good enough to take games off of all the teams we've mentioned so far, and those could be critical when it comes down to the wire, right? When it's week 9, when it's week 10, and you lost to Allegiance, and you need that one game, that could be detrimental to any squad.
Eager, I didn't even mention Allegiance. In
I thought you said Allegiance.
I said Eager.
No, I think Eager's in the running.
That's what I mean. It's a dangerous league to be in if you're in North America right now. Probably the most competitive as a Sash Blink comes out, immediate purification comes out, but Mask gets turned on, and that was a very late purification in the end as he did get stunned by that ball, but he had to purify. I believe it was the trap that came out afterwards.
Very good play coming out from Mask there to bait the purification, but like you said, has to burn his own. Probably not worth in that situation.
Well, tune in with Omega, who's level 19 in 19 minutes. A minute a level, not a bad situation to be in any game.
He's got an entire item over Marauder right now, rocking the Void Shield. And I like this. Void Shield's very good against a lot of teams, specifically this enemy lineup who only have 1 magical, so going to be reducing some of that damage coming into his team.
Can we just highlight over Void Shield as well as we were waiting for a lull? I just want to show the fans out, because we don't see it as often these days, but it used to be picked up a while ago and then drifted off again. But power protection as well as reduces power of the enemies. Very, very impactful for the team.
And yeah, it's just so good. It's going to be enhancing not only his damage, but CycloneSpins and Masked as well. And you can see Stealth gone into this very tanky build. Has the Breastplate of Valor. Left side, though, this is actually Envy trying to set up for a kill on PandaCat, but enemy smell it out.
Yeah, they do. And you can saw the rotation from mid lane from Khaos there. Straight over to support and potentially look to pick Kiki in response, who was going to be the one diving the back line looking for it. Talking about diving the back line, we did just see both the solo laners playing the proxy game, which kind of happens in the solo lane sometimes, especially when they've got the wave clear on, just because they can't kill each other anymore. So they're like, let's proxy and see if I can out-rotate my opponent.
Envy, looks like they want to force this. You could see Stealth backing off, but Kiki, or excuse me, Masked was on the top side, looking to see if he could find someone, rotating in Masked. Only level 16 right now. Most of the junglers' job has kind of been protecting their carries and setting up for their teams in this match so far. So he hasn't really been able to keep up with his own farm.
And at the moment, it's been a not necessarily slow game, but God Fury is available now, and we're going to see Envy go for it again with that Zeus ultimate and Cyclone Suns on her Hou Yi. They have the burst potential, and Kiki on the zone duty, going to yawn too. It's not low enough yet, so he's going to have to use Grogu Strike. Varizial going to the sky, as you can see. So the reset happens from Envy, and Omega joins the front line, only for a moment.
He'll get turned on here, take a little bit of poke, but he still does have Eagles rallying. Kiki, he's trying to zone. Omega takes a lot, but still staying strong, and PainDeViande to the backline, finding a stump, but no follow-up.
No follow-up from either team, but MLC's ult is down. The good wall comes out from Varizial, but they're looking to collapse on PainDeViande now that his cavalry charge is down. Cyclone accidentally pulled the gold few, but Stealth still gets PainDeViande, and they're looking for more as Omega ults in place, but now he's cut off. Omega will fall down here to PandaCat, who picks up a double kill, and now it's Envy that I have to run.
2 for 1 so far. Marauder trying to find anyone. No blink online just yet. He'll just heal up off the boars, and it looks like Enemy, they're going to stop chasing, head to the Gold Fury, and leave Marauder on zone duty.
I think that was a really good play from Stealth. He created a very good zone with the Zeus ultimate, but PainDeViande's response was even better. He went straight in and zoned the entire team of Envy, collapsing on any of the targets whatsoever. That cavalry charge made an impact for his team that just created that zone where Enemy could then turn the fight again. We're back to even at 22 minutes.
This game's going to get interesting. This one's going to go the distance. I'm really feeling like this is going to be a 40-minute match, unless some team could come up with a wipe in now.
I think if we see 1D aside, I think that'll be game. I think that should just be enough, but Tier 1 tower will fall in mid, so Enemy finally take a lead for the first time this game off that one, as well as Gold was even then. And they're heading over to the right-hand side, more for the farm than anything else. We won't see a Fire Giant attempt just yet. A little bit too dangerous, as we're starting to hit that 4th item stage now.
And just look at the damage. Just that last fight really spiked PandaCat. He's now sitting at 12,000, the most in the game. And this is the worrying thing about Artemis, is she does so much damage. Not only does she have crit in her kit, but she also has some of the highest base stats on a hunter, as well as an ability that increases her attack speed. Like, yep. She swings late game.
And when you look at the actual damage charts for Enemy here, they're going to be relying a lot on Khaos this game, because the amount of physical defense that is coming out from the Envy lineup here is shutting down everybody else on this roster. I mean, take into account, you've got PainDeViande and Guan Yu physical, Artemis physical, Tyr and Thor all physical, and you've got 3 Breastplates of Valor being finished here by the looks of it, hiding in the line, Sovereignty, Void Shield. This is going to be a very tanky squad for Enemy to bring down, but in response, Enemy do have the heals. They do have the Guan Yu.
I'm really surprised that we haven't seen a Witchblade come out from at least someone. I would imagine it'll get picked up eventually.
Is Curse enough, though? Do you not think Curse is going to be enough for this?
I mean, Witchblade's just going to reduce the physical power that the opponents have. Attack speed as well. I mean, it's just very useful against 4 physical dealers, especially against the Artemis, right? Anything to reduce the Artemis attack speed is going to be useful here. Now, obviously, she's the only one who's really focused on auto-attacking, but Soul as well has auto-attacks. I really need to see kind of these Midgardian Males or the Witchblades, even a Runic Shield if you want to lock down Chaos a little bit or need that extra little magical protection.
It's a very, very even chess match between these two teams right now. Both Tier 1 towers in the mid lane did go down now. Both side towers are still available, however, and now with that open, the map is a little bit more just, you know, available for fighting, but nobody's going to do it. They're going to be very, very careful. They're just going to wait for the next Gold Fury more than anything, as we see Omega getting focused a little bit here. He'll be fine over in this lane, unless they're going to hard commit. There's 3 of them over here now.
It looks like they just want to siege this tower, and Omega, he's going to be forced to back here. He does have teleport. I don't expect he'll teleport in.
For the response as well as this is going on, Omega's keeping him busy. They're going to lose the Tier 1 tower, but left-hand side, the same thing is happening to PandaCat right about now as well, as he's going to get ulted by Mast. A teleport coming in, I think, to help him out potentially, but still, PandaCat under pressure. Going to get away for now, trying to return some damage, use the acid to heal up. Not going to be enough to find the heal himself. Cyclone gets credit for the kill. Tier 1 tower falls on right. Left-hand side tower will fall down, but there's no minions as the right Tier 2 tower falls for Enemy so far.
They could go for Fire Giant.
Will we see a 5 for a Tier 2?
Enemy can just force Fire Giant. Envy have to respond, and I think they know it too. They know this. This is brilliant from Enemy. Now, they're going to see that CycloneSpin's still over there, but no one else is on the map, and
very
Envy,
lucky here. There's no teleport available. Well, Omega has teleport, but there's no wards around.
They're not going to get it here in time. They're not going to be here in time.
Fire Giant to Enemy? For free! Well played by Enemy. They actually come out on top of that. Tier 2 tower, Tier 1 tower. They did lose PandaCat, but they'll be quite happy to have a Fire Giant. Meanwhile, Cyclone still trying to push in left with no minions at the moment is the big talking point here. The minions are actually blocked off from joining him, so he's trying to backdoor this pretty much. Actually, no, that's a lie. There was minions actually in lane 2. I apologize. But not going to be able to find it as there is defense there.
Not worth.
Oh, it's not minions in lane. I'll lie. It's a trap.
Both teams.
The trap looked like a minion.
I feel you. We haven't seen Artemis in a long time. Even gold. Essentially even experience. Most players starting to hit level 20 right now, but Enemy, they've got Fire Giant in tow, and that was just such a calculated play from them, right? They split. I like what Envy did at the start of that, right? They split left side because they can't respond to defend the towers on right in hand. But the problem is they put so much emphasis on trying to kill PandaCat that they didn't notice that Enemy were just, they had the entire right side of the map open, and by the time Envy realized it and started to respond, it was too late.
It was a very, very good job from Enemy, especially with the characters they had there to do that Fire Giant. If you think about it, none of them, other than PandaCat, is someone you'd associate with high burst damage on a Fire Giant. but they had the damage to get that one out for themselves, and now they have the power play, being able to swing down the left-hand side that was just pushed in by Envy, and look for the tier 2 tower here as well.
And Envy seem to be conceding this tier 1. They're going to let Omega split push on the right, but he's backing, so it'll be a 5v5 fight here to defend this tier 2.
I think it's a good call to defend this tier 2 as well. Like, it's a very important one for them to look to defend, because if they lose this, the map is just so much in enemy's favor, and it would have just come down to a quick call to just push in that right-hand side that has gone in their favor. Thor's in the sky, though. Where's he going to come down?
He's actually going to go on stealth. He purifies just in time. Omega going to peel him off, but Kiki on the front line. Eagles rally onto 4, and it's Omega trying to peel, actually doing a good job of blocking off 3 members.
Does keep them busy and force Kiki into his passive as he goes in again. Lawbringer comes out from Marauder, annihilates Mask. Stealth trying to return some damage to him, but still Marauder is very tanky, trying to heal up, going to get focused now as the team get the tier 2. We should see Marauder fall in response, but enemy would be happy with the result there as they do get a tier 2, 1-for-1, jungler for solo.
And PandaCat's going to be able to pick up this Gold Fury as well, so a little bit of spike in gold for enemy. Can we see gold in hand here? So sitting at about 1,500, and after this is done, should everyone be just short of 2,000.
Ooh, I love the zone duty coming out from both Khaos and Thor there just to secure this Gold Fury, trying to even find a pick if they could. Not going to get one though. The Gold Fury does go down.
Omega teleports. He needs to be careful, though. It's actually getting turned on. CycloneSpin, one more hit. Varizial finds the kill. Omega, he's going to switch his attention to Varizial, but the ultimate's already back up. Max CDR playing an important role there.
So Gold Fury did actually go the way of enemy there. I wasn't 100% certain, but yep, it did go the way of enemy. And as you can see, the graphs now swing in their favor. The experience has only just changed. Only just, but we're getting to the stage now where experience
everyone's level 20 right now. Outside of the mids, who are 19.
Jungle, Mask, 2 levels down.
It's not too bad. He'll find it here in the next
He'll find it eventually.
I would like to see, okay, yeah, see left-hand side, you see he's going to go get some farm solo. I like this. This is actually pretty important late game that a lot of teams forget about, is that if you have a character, especially a carry character, now, while he's not really going to be a carry on this Najah anymore, still, you kind of want him to get level 20, so allow him to go split push side by himself. CycloneSpin doesn't need that farm. He's almost full build, and actually, CycloneSpin building into a Breastplate of Valor?
We actually just saw Varizial teleport in to the red buff, and now they're looking for stealth in the jungle. There's a good wall. Double tap comes out from him too. The ult goes off from stealth, but a little bit too late to find a detonate, and now Mask gets a very good ring toss off and an ultimate to keep himself alive. Pick up PandaCat. The tier 2 tower in mid is being chipped away at and will fall down, as now Omega being focused on a little bit, but be safe for the time being thanks to his support. Cyclone looking to return some damage, but Thor's in the sky, gonna dunk in.
Kiki or Omega barely managed to get out there, and you can see the Sun's doing a lot to dissuade enemy from chasing down. And now CycloneSpin gonna dash forward, finds one, turns his attention to Khaos. Big crit. 531. It's going to be a 2-for-0. Now Varizial being chased down. He should be able to get out here. He has a lot of mobility.
Easy gets a Kumbhakarna, though, and Kumbhakarna with travel issues is not something to shake a leg at. He will be able to run you down, even with the throwback as well, but they will just relinquish that and go for the red buff instead. Envy hold their Phoenixes. The Fire Giant is now done with on the whole side of enemy, but they did lose all their towers.
An important thing to note there in that last fight is that PandaCat was actually the first to fall, and he's a lot of the damage. Obviously, you just look at the damage chart, right? It's all centered around PandaCat and Khaos, and if Envy can find one of them early on in the fight, you could see them start to wrestle back control as the fight kind of breaks out, but that's the job that enemy has to do now, is it's protect their carries, and they don't really have a single god that's very good at that, right? Guan Yu is more of an aggressor. He can heal her up. He can heal the two characters up. Varizial has a stun in his ult, but he's been using it aggressively. Marauder can't really peel off a lot of players. He can only peel off one at a time, so it's going to be hard for enemy to keep their carries alive.
Well, this game, when we were in this a few minutes ago, it was all even, and we were saying, you know, it'll come down to one team fight or a deer side that should see this swing, but instead it was down to shot calling. A split push opportunity for both teams ended up going in enemy's favors. They got the Fire Giant as well, and now they've got themselves in a position of decency, but EnVyUs definitely not out of this game, especially with the Fire Giant now respawning once again, and them winning that last fight, keeping their Phoenixes up.
Fire Giant dance starting here, 30 minutes, no free FG this time. You can see all 10 players, they know how important this fight is, right? It's not even about the Fire Giant, it's about the fight that's going to break out and who's going to die.
And here's the funny thing as well, you mentioned Breastplate of Valor on CycloneSpin here as we're watching the ward battle that's going to ensue here. But what you can actually see going on is that they've all gone for breastplate of defense for a hold down fort. Blinking from Marauder goes off at the same time. He's going to lure, bring it to the backside. Kiki trying his own, but Varizial's already in the sky, dunking in. But Omega ults in place to avoid the damage. Cyclone gets one kill with the Suns and the Zeus all raining together. PainDeViande has fallen. The healer is down. Cyclone has to Sanctuary as Mask doesn't manage to find a pick on the right-hand side here. PandaCat's in trouble. A good trap, and the ball will keep them busy. But is it going to be enough for him to survive? I tell you what, it won't. Mask gets the kill. 2 for 1. Favor of Envy.
And now Khaos, they're backing off. And actually, no, there wasn't a single person who falled on Envy's side. MLC Stealth somehow managed to get out. Mask, though, looking for Khaos in the back line. Going to get turned on by Marauder. Very low. One more hit. It's going to be Marauder who returns the favor. Omega still chasing Khaos down, but the wall going to keep him alive.
Omega and Mask overdoing it here. Now Mask is going to be dead. Omega gets out thanks to a very good yawn coming out from Kiki. The CC is good, but Marauder's not giving up. You know, he still wants that kill. The groggy strike will save him for a second, but not quick enough from the in-hand of Varizial. Stealth is back, though, to zone him away, as is CycloneSpin.
And Marauder here should be locked down. Going to be rooted in place, and he'll try and survive the best he can, but MLC Stealth swinging a little bit too hard. CycloneSpin helps combine for that kill, and just the back and forth.
Yeah,
teams chasing real deep for kind of the remaining players alive.
It was very favorable for Enemy at one point because we saw Omega and Mask going a little bit too deep, overdo it on their own. But luckily enough is that Enemy wanted to return the favor and find Omega too, and that just allowed the comeback of Stealth and Cyclone as they actually came back from base with full health.
32 minutes in here, everyone's starting to hit level 20 finally, just the supports left, and this Soul is right now doing a lot of damage, working on Rod of Tahuti, and if I'm Enemy, I don't really want to fight until I can finish that off.
I agree. And I want to go back to the point about the physical defense on the side of Envy this game. This is one of those ranked tactics whenever you go into ranked and people are like, oh wait, there's 4 members of the enemy team that are physical. Guys, all build physical defense and it's GG, right? That's what people always say in ranked. However, they never do that. In this game, though, Envy went in and went, what, they went 4 physical? Let's all get some defense. Even our Hunter will get some defense for safety and will survive a little bit longer in these engagements.
And I like what CycloneSpin's done with this last item. He actually goes beat stick. I was thinking maybe he might go for max cooldown, picking up a Jotun's Wrath, but the thing is it's the big circles for Envy, right? They have Sunbreaker, and then they have Zeus's ultimate. They have Lightning Storm, and you saw in that last fight, Enemy, they flipped the switch, they all engage, and they're all fighting inside these 2 high-damaging ultimates and taking so much poke. Too much for PainDeViande to heal up right then and there.
I see 3 magical defense items on the side of Envy. 3. One of them is Pestilence, but then they've also got 2 Spirit Rollers being built on. That's about it. That's all they've got in magical. They're not worried at all. As long as Khaos doesn't go off, which, to be fair, Khaos is the one trigger person that could swing this for Enemy now. If he gets a massive Supernova off or a Stellar Burst on multiple targets, his damage will be insane because there's not much in the way of defense now.
It's basically Stealth needs to make sure not to get hit by Khaos. He needs to stay on the opposite sides of the fight, and Envy need to have someone focusing on zoning him, and so far it seemed to be Omega, and then secondarily Mask, and then you have Kiki kind of sitting in the back line, and mostly Stealth and CycloneSpin, they're kind of peeling for each other with damage. You'll see them hip to hip a lot of times, and the second one of the backlines, whether it's Marauder or Varizial, like starts going on one of them, they'll just both focus that target down, and as tanky as these characters are, they can't survive Hou Yi and Zeus late game.
Now, we did also see as well that the cameraman did highlight over there, hiding him in the line, picked up by PandaCat as well. He's gone for some physical protection to deal with the front line that he's going to have to deal with. Brawler's Beat Stick picked up by CycloneSpin instead of the throwing dagger that he once had. Not gone for any crit in this build. He wants his abilities to reduce healing.
Now it's Omega. Doing Omega things, sitting on the front line there, trying to zone out or push one of Enemy into an awkward spot. And I think Envy want to force this fight.
Well,
but
no, I think Enemy, yeah, and that's what they did last time, and that cost them. They lost the engagement overall, realistically. No Fire Giant went down, but Envy ended up winning it when Enemy engaged it. Groggy Strike goes on, Omega goes in, going to get a root off onto Marauder, but Marauder returns a lot of damage to Omega, who's very low. He has to disengage and go back and teleport. Stealth, though, does find PandaCat, a very important target for this Envy roster to try and find the win here. Supernova on the back hits Mask, who's very, very low. He will fall to PainDeViande, and still Khaos trying to do what he can, going to get yawned on. Use Sanctuary, get some damage back. Teleport comes back in here on the right-hand side.
From both
and here
of them
comes Marauder.
He's looking for Stealth. Purification used early. He's stuck on a wall now, and Stealth just trying to get away. Omega doing his best to peel for him. And actually, Fire Giant's pulled onto Khaos, and he's going to find the detonate.
Chain Lightning was from Stealth that kept it alive. Stealth trying to do his best, juke boots, but not enough to get away from Varizial. Berserker barrage onto Kiki, who's creating a zone again. Omega's so low. but now Cyclone is back. The carry is here. Ricochet misses. Suns connect with one, but a dash away from Pain will keep him alive. Now they're looking for the pick on PainDeViande, who's very low, but Marauder says no to Cyclone. Fearless. Power cleave. Fearless again. Tries to keep the zone created to get Pain out.
CycloneSpin actually could have an angle here. He's looking for the Ricochet onto Varizial. He's actually going to dance forward, and no mana on Varizial. One more. It's going to be CycloneSpin trying to close out the fight, but once again, Kiki's chasing forward into tower. Omega's here to combine with him, and they're going to lock Marauder, and Marauder's actually getting chased by Omega, but this is, I think, a tale of going a little bit too deep once again. EnVy finally give it up.
This game is so close that people are running out of mana. They start these engagements with full mana, and you saw Varizial completely out at the end there. PainDeViande completely out of mana at the end. And Pain had meditation, just to point that out. He had med, and they still run out of mana.
And with how long the fight was going, I mean, PainDeViande was spamming Conviction on cooldown. Can we actually see total healing done? I'd like to see how much Pain is helping out his team, and it is, what am I?
12,000.
That's actually not that high.
It's not as high as we expected. It's actually 4,000 coming out from Omega's meditation there. So, not too bad considering he's only like, what, 25%? 25%? 75% less.
Yeah.
God, I was 25%.
Still do math. No math on broadcast.
Yeah, no math, that's bad.
We don't have calculators, please. But EnVy here, they're going to push into the jungle and actually find Marauder by himself.
Marauder gets crit twice in a row, has to Lawbringer away. His exit has been cut off potentially, though, by Kiki and Omega, but they changed their mind because they're not sure where the reinforcements of enemy are. And here they are. Panda's in trouble. Panda's half elf. He's getting focused down. The detonate's already been used. Bludgeon will connect. Still trying to run away. Kiki will get the kill with the Groggy Strike. Cyclone on the back, though, looking for PainDeViande. Going to charge away, get away from the Suns. Meanwhile, on the right, Mass still trying to find a pick as Marauder trying to juggle Omega away from danger.
doing a very good job of disengaging. They're only losing PandaCat, and I love that bait from EnVy. They look like they're trying to chase down Marauder, but instead they focus on enemy when they rotate in to try and save him. And now there's a couple players here poked out an enemy. They're going to try and get into this Fire Giant pit, but Kiki doing a good job of zoning so far.
No Lawbringer available for Marauder to jump in here, but EnVy drop the Fire Giant. They turn their attention back to the fight, looking for Pain, who is the healer for this team. He's low at the moment, trying to keep himself busy. Uppercut from Kiki to zone one as Marauder comes in with a great Lawbringer, looking for Mass, but the Sash will keep him alive, followed by a Sanctuary, I believe, to keep him still alive in this fight. Stealth looking for some extra damage of the detonators. Now they look for Varizial.
He's got Purification, trying to find the hammer over the wall. He does, but it's not in time, and Omega finishes them off. Marauder being chased by Kiki right now. 4 dead. Marauder's the last one alive. He should be able to get away, but EnVy, they just need to stop chasing. Either focus these towers and get a Phoenix, or grab the Fire Giant.
Kumbhakarna is the truth right now.
He's so good.
2-0-18. 21 kills in the game. He's been involved in 20 of them. What a big impact Kiki's been having in this one, too.
This isn't free. This isn't free. PandaCat got picked early. He's going to be here in time, and Marauder's already just distracting all of EnVy.
And that's what he needs to do. Keep them distracted, keep Cyclone off. Lawbringer's away from the fight, but it's allowing PandaCat into a position. Fire Giant above half. EnVy reset. The dance will continue.
I'm really surprised that EnVy didn't focus down the remaining towers and a Phoenix. And the reason is that even if they have Fire Giant, they can't just dive into enemy, right? This is late game. Everyone's full build. They don't have a guaranteed fight. Yeah, sure, they have a little bit of regen and they have 70 power, but I think going for the towers and the Phoenixes there was the better option. Instead, they elect to go for the Fire Giant, and they don't even have the damage to do it before Marauder shows up.
Well, here's a question. Is this because they've all built defense? Multiple people are building defense in this game that the fights are going so long?
This is
and
like
less damage.
This feels like Season 2, like at the height of tank meta, when no one was dying and fights were going on for an hour.
If some of these players drop some of this physical defense they've got here and picked up the extra damage that you'd normally expect in these builds, would these fights should be over quicker then, technically?
No, I think EnVy
one way or the other.
I think EnVy have to remain right now with their tank builds, because enemy have a lot of sustained damage and reduce. They don't like have a lot of burst to kind of kill the members of EnVy, especially with that physical defense online, right? All of it really comes from Khaos, and if he can find a really good supernova to take out a key target, but he hasn't been able to do that, and because of that, EnVy, they've been able to match up the healing of Guan just by being tanky.
Well, just keep an eye on Khaos, because he's the member with all the magical damage on the side of enemy, and he's working on that Soul Reaver now just for his final item there. When that comes online, there's a potential for a turnaround for enemy. They're still in this game though. No Phoenix is down so far. either way, after the early split push we saw come out from both teams, it's now turned into a fire giant fight.
This is a lot of focus on Marauder, who's going to be able to heal up. Actually, no! CycloneSpin shreds him. The rest of enemy not there in time.
That was a Soul Reaver proc as well coming out that really helped from Stealth, that secured that kill on Marauder. Him out of the engagement for 60 seconds is definitely a power play opportunity for Envy, especially when they only used a singular ultimate in that fight.
They want to bait the fight, and enemy know this because that's been the story so far.
Omega
but actually, Mask caught alone.
And what happens? Khaos gets the kill with a big pickup as well. The damage is huge. Varizial in the sky, gonna dunk down on Cyclone and disengage immediately. You saw Omega immediately pop the meditation there as well to heal Cyclone back up. Kiki trying to create his own. Enemy just quite happy to retreat now, knowing the fire giant is still not being done.
They're just going to wait for Marauder to spawn. You can see 30 seconds on him. He does have teleport as well, or he will have teleport once he spawns as well, so be able to make it right there to the fire giant pit. But Mast is dead, and Envy, they continue to bait these fights.
10 seconds on Stealth Soul Reaver. We saw the evaporation of Marauder because of it. Will they be able to do the same once again when it comes back up? We'll see, because like you said, Envy, they want to fight this, but
this is so
they've
close.
changed their mind now. It looks like Marauder's coming up in 10 with Mass being down for 30 here. The teleport will make an impact from Marauder coming back in. So Envy, well, they will lick their wounds, go back to base, and spend some gold.
They're just going to wait on Mass to spawn back. Enemy now. They have the option to pick up Fire Giant if they want, but I don't suspect...
Oh, I love this call from Enemy because they know Mast is still dead. Kiki knows what's going on. The soul of the team. Teleport coming out from Omega, I believe, already. To the backside of this fight. Yawn from Kiki's going to slow them down. Purification used by Varizial there. And Lawbringer also down by Marauder, which doesn't connect with the Fearless. Meanwhile, the back Stealth gets a lot of damage on PandaCat. Omega will secure the kill with Scourge, but will Varizial trade it out? No! Ricochet comes out from Cyclone to stop Varizial. Picking up Stealth, and Cyclone gets the kill. Uppercut from Kiki will certainly spell the end of Khaos, and now they're looking for Marauder as well as Pain is looking for Stealth.
Stealth just managing to somehow stay alive, surrounded. He's going to finally fall, but PainDeViande, he gets turned around, and Marauder has a 3-man Fearless, but I don't expect he gets out of here for free. The rotation from Mast coming off of base, and that's going to be a deicide, the first one of the game coming out from Envy here, and they just need to start taking down these towers, finish the Phoenix, ignore the Fire Giant.
So just as a point there, you did hear the voice back in the background. I did just say the nail in the coffin. I'm not sure if it is the nail in the coffin, but it's definitely a power play coming out for Envy here.
Why?
The Fire Giant. Why not? You get Fire Giant, you get all the tier 2 towers back, you then can look for the Phoenix.
Enemy have shown that they can fight, and even with 70 magic,
respawns.
Even with bonus power. But that's the thing, right? Enemy's they're all gonna be respawn. It's gonna be a guaranteed 5v5 fight instead of going and taking down the towers and then a Phoenix and then getting Fire Giant. Okay.
So what did you want? What did you want?
Take
tier 2 and a
take
Phoenix?
the Phoenixes. Take the Phoenixes.
All the Phoenixes?
At least 2,
I mean,
right?
no,
you could take the tier 2, then the middle Phoenix, then the left Phoenix, and then ignore Fire Giant completely. And then you could bait Fire Giant later on when you have fire minions pushing forward. Now it's going to be a guaranteed 5v5 fight, which the extra power, I don't think it's going to help them enough, especially because they have to dive now. They haven't had to dive into a tower or a Phoenix just yet.
Well, we will see what ends up happening with that in the end, because now Stealth is respawned, no Fire Giant available for him right now. Those crits that you actually saw weren't CycloneSpin, they were Mast, just for those at home who may have been like, why the hell is he critting when he's got no crit in his build anymore? It was Mast who's built Malice and Deathbringer as well to go with this build. So a lot of damage online, and it's definitely the mages that'll be top of the charts. Not a surprise to see with these builds coming out. Yes, that was a 1242, I believe.
I thought that was 17.
Was it 17?
I think it was 17.
I thought I saw 12.
That's Najah hit chain for you.
Today.
That's Najah hit chain for you with 280 magical power. Now, Omega gonna try and lock down this blue. Not gonna be there.
Won't find it in time, unfortunately. They will find the tier 2 tower on the right-hand side here, which I don't think Enemy will look to contest.
Oh,
it's going to be all about the Phoenixes here. And as Envy, what'd you do? Do you want a 5-5 fight under the Phoenix? Or?
You're going to have to like try and bait Enemy out and try and pick someone off. So honestly, that last Fire Giant fight was, obviously everyone on the team did good, but it was all Omega. Omega in the backline actually took out both, I believe it was Khaos and PandaCat from the fight. They poked him down to half, and a lot of that also was from a proc from that Soul Reaver as well, I think hitting PandaCat early, but Omega was able to deal with the 2 hard carries for Enemy, and then slowly Envy just started finding each player after each player.
Well, mid has been called for now from Envy to look to siege this one up. A minion wave coming in once again. Both mages have Soul Reaver ready to activate, so the front lines need to be very wary of the extra damage they will take from that one. The minions come in, and the positioning, they're very slow to die, these minions, because nobody wants to overcommit.
Stealth going to be throwing out that shield. I expect to see this a lot from Envy. They can't just kind of full-on commit to here. They're going to try and poke them out with Zeus damage. Cyclone as well with the Ricochet. And just look to see if they can 100 to 0 someone.
both teams just want to do the whole 100-0 thing, and is generally on the squishier targets, PandaCat, Khaos, and then you've got Cyclone and MMC Stealth to focus. But to be fair, Stealth is not a squishy target with a Mantle of Discard. Thor is in the sky, Fearless hits Stealth, you have to Purify. Varizial dunks into the back safely, PainDeViande with the cavalry charge, Lawbringer over the top from Marauder too, but still, Envy hold off. They actually have ultimates available.
They actually bait a lot of ultimates. Left-hand side, Marauder. Mask going to take him to the sky, but in the middle, it's Omega diving very deep, but he's tanking Phoenix one more hit, and it's going to be Khaos to return the favor. PainDeViande staying alive and just trying to heal up his teammates.
And now Varizial goes with a Berserker Barrage on 3. Phoenix falls, but the juggle gets Mask kill, double kill, the way of Khaos, as well as Stealth picking up the kill onto Varizial. 28-17 now is the slash line. This is Envy's game at the moment, but it's not clean. It's a really good competition.
They were able to take off the middle Phoenix, but this is very worrying. It's just so hard to siege into this team, especially against PainDeViande, who's going to be able to heal his team, has Meditation and Shell as well.
So, Mantle of Discord, I did touch on it a little bit, that Stealth has also picked this item up, and we've also seen one now picked up by Masked as well. This will create a stun around you when you get low on health, a lot like Wrath used to. Fist of the Gods, I should say. But yeah, that item is actually being picked up here for the physical protection, magical protection, but also the stun, which a lot of these gods are melee focused on both teams.
And Kiki also has picked one up, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 3 on the side of Envy right now. That's a lot.
Well, response from enemy though, trying to push straight down mid lane here. They may be in a bit of an awkward position. I say that, but Stealth walks around the corner, gets isolated. Uppercut from Kiki will not keep him alive though, as Khaos finds a kill. Cyclone does trade out Marauder though. They're looking for the pick on Pain. Pain very, very low here in the mid lane. His shield will pop to give him some health. He'll dash through. Khaos from the back with the Stellar Burst, but immediately sanctuaried by Cyclone, and now Khaos should fall down here. No, Omega gonna not be able to find it because it disapparated at the moment. Kiki very low, as PandaCat is now on the back. Cyclone gets on the fight as Omega does pick up Khaos, and they're trading out, looking for Panda.
Mast is back though, finds Panda to the sky. Varizial manages to take out one as well, and Envy, they lose 2, but they hold the Phoenix push somehow. 3 dead on the side of enemy, and that was a beautiful knock-up, most notably from Kiki. Actually, he didn't find Marauder. I don't recall who he found, but actually when the player lands, it actually knocks Marauder back into
the team. Really helps them out there for the time being. Respawns, though, starting to climb. We're up to about 70 seconds on a respawn already. And with the way these fights are going, I expect to see a 2v... I could actually end up seeing a 4v5 and one man being left alive and ending the game.
By
That's
themselves.
the stage we could see it. If PandaCat or Cyclone are left alive, they could easily end.
It's just so hard right now for both teams to end because of how tanky Envy's built in. Obviously, they're winning the fights overall because of it, but they don't have the damage that they want to end the fights very cleanly and very fast. So they have to rely on these very sustained engagements where they do drop a couple members.
Well, talking about damage, we see defense coming out from both the Hunters. It's changed again. We did see having a minion in line for PandaCat. He's now gone for Bulwark of Hope. And CycloneSpin, well, at one point he did have physical protection. I'm pretty sure it was a breastplate. He's now changed that up for a Mantle of Discord himself as well. Both teams going for tanky options to just weather the storm of these engagements.
I like what these teams are doing. They're changing their builds depending on what the other team is doing in team fights. So for the Bulwark, PandaCat notices that he's getting focused a lot by Stealth and Kiki, right? He's getting hit by the Chain Lightning proc, which seems to be what Stealth is aiming for, to proc that Soul Reaver so they can all in PandaCat at the start. So there, he gets a little bit more tanky against Kiki, who's been kind of a thorn in his side. And then also, if he does get hit by that Soul Reaver, it's going to be reduced.
7 Mantle of Discords are in this game right now.
Khaos just sold something and picked up Spear of Desolation.
So a big power boost for him as well. Is it a Mantle of Discord? Nope, still 7 Mantle of Discords in this game at 49 minutes in. And now we're with the Spear of Desolation as well. Khaos is swinging. He's already top of the charts at 42,000, almost at 43. Fire Giant was pulled by Envy, but immediately reset because they're worried about enemy engagement.
They just want to fight. They just want to bait a fight. PainDeViande here. Going to be spotted in the jungle by Kiki, but Jan is going to miss.
And this is good for enemy right now. The Phoenix in mid lane is going to respawn very soon. They've got about 2 more fire minion waves to have to deal with. And Envy are going to lose a power play they had for an opportunity here. Masked going to sash onto Marauder, get some decent damage off. Wasn't a crit, unfortunately, which you would have liked there in that situation. So Marauder heals straight back up of him with a power cleave. Fire Giant way above 50% still, as Envy are trying not to take too much damage and bait enemy into a fight.
Kiki going to be caught out there. And Envy, I think, finally realized that they can't do it. They can't do the Fire Giant at this point of the game. Khaos quickly going to dash away as he sees Mast in the mid lane. And Envy here. It's so hard for them to close out.
Really, really hard for both teams to close this one out, honestly. Whoever, like I said, I could see it come down to just one person being alive and the game ending based off that. There is an advantage, though, for Envy with the Phoenix being weakened in the mid lane. So they could look to just push that and ignore the Fire Giant, potentially, if they want to.
I don't think Envy know what they want to do. I think they want to bait the Fire Giant, but Enemy haven't taken the bait at all, right? In none of these I think once they took the bait for the Fire Giant, and now it's Enemy. They're not going to force any engagement. They want Envy to collapse on them and overcommit to them. And as long as they can protect Khaos and PandaCat, they can win the fights. It just happens that a lot of times Envy have been managing to pick off PandaCat specifically at the start.
Oh, burst onto Omega. There was the Soul Reaver proccing, and Varizial in the sky looking for the dunk. Omega wants to get out of here so he can try and teleport back in. The focus is on Stealth, though, who's very, very low. Sanctuary already used. They're going to get the ult off in response, though, but it's not enough to find a kill. Khaos already disapparated away as PandaCat picks up Masked as well. Marauder keeping Omega from back, and his Kiki is now the focus target. Sleepy time for Kiki. His first death of the game. Enemy win the engagement. 3 kills, and they can march on mid. 70-second plus respawn time.
They don't even care about the Fire Giant. They know they have the numbers advantage. Meditation used. PainDeViande's going to be able to heal him up. This is going to be a 5-on-2 defense. And Envy, it's going to be hard for them to hold. And you can just see, I don't even think Enemy are going to wait. They're going to go straight for the end.
The kills and deaths do not show the tail of this game whatsoever.
This is what you do.
This has been so close, but the Titan is now under threat. Envy doing their best to defend with the sun's raining down. The Titan is still at decent health. No, it's not anymore. It's below 20%. Enemy are going to defeat Envy in an absolutely crazy 52-minute game.
What'd I say?
Whew.
Enemy just find a way to win. That's just all it is. Somehow they find a way to win. And honestly, Envy, they had that same power play option that you just saw Enemy do about 10 minutes earlier. Instead, 4 strong versus a single player, instead of trying to end or at least get Phoenixes, instead they get the Fire Giant. And then with that Fire Giant, when they try and take the Phoenix finally, they do get it, but they trade out 2 for 3.
Well, let's go right back to the beginning of the game. That was 52 minutes long. The first blood, which in the end didn't really make an impact, but this was
soloed.
This was all Marauder.
Get soloed.
Get soloed by Tower.
All right, so Omega here, he has enough mana to Eagles Rally, but then uses the disarm. Really good job from Omega to juke out there, and then he just reads. He just reads Marauder perfectly on everything, and then he's got his minions to kite in between.
Now, what he did at the end, which was the interesting thing, is he thought he was still going to die, but what he did was make sure he dealt damage to trade out the kill there.
I think he still had it from the Scourge.
Well, I'm not sure if he still had it from the Scourge, but it was risky that he may have lost it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I like the idea that he turned around, dealt some damage back, but that didn't really make an impact in that game. Kiki, who was on the enemy team who lost this game, when we say enemy team, because we don't normally do replays of these, but we should. Kiki was such a big factor in this game, and this was one of the reasons the kills were in Envy's favor for such long periods, or the whole game, to be honest.
Kiki just kind of playing his role perfectly, and you can just see the movement in his camera. He's always turning around. I like what he does there. He doesn't, it's not just for the damage on a Khaos, it's actually just to take Khaos out of the fight so Enemy can't turn around. We saw that a lot of times where he's simply using Epic Uppercut to keep people out of fights, and then he chases people down, keeps his team alive.
Now there's a conversation about peel versus engage, and Kiki does balances out very well.
Perfect.
This is a big instance of him engaging with the Yawns, looking for other opportunities, and this is peel. This is keeping somebody off. All he did was throw back Marauder, but showing presence
Look
there.
at this.
And the curse over the wall.
Look at that.
Ooh.
And Stealth, I think this is
he lived because of it.
Yeah,
Cyclone turns around and helps.
This is the fight that Envy won. I think it was the 4-for-1, and a lot of it was the fact that he repeatedly was coming in and out and trying to save Stealth. Stealth was just getting chased down this fight, like start to finish, and Envy just slowly found the players chasing him down.
Still, the pressure is on him, but he's trying to be a front line. Yawn wasn't great there, but he's fine. He's not going to find the kill at the end onto Marauder. What an insane... I love that voice pack, by the way. That's a great voice pack.
Which one was it?
You hear it all the time. That was game one,
that was a really good game.
I mean, let's go to Marauder as well, because after the start of the game where he,
got soloed.
We can actually go back to Marauder and his impact in that game, because we saw the Fearlesses against Kiki as well. He had a big impact in this. It's the same sort of replay, but from Marauder's angle here. And this was keep Omega in combat to begin with. They focus Stealth, which is what they're looking for the kill on, and then he goes straight back to Omega here at the end. Notice how he just doesn't care. He's going for Omega to stop the back. Stopping the back changes the fight.
And a lot of that's because the teleport is still online for Omega, so he can heal up and come back in. And by then, the rest of his team has picked up the important carries in the back line, and then they just rush in 5 versus 2.
Game